Well, hello, everybody, and this is Auntie, and we're going to be talking about Brian the Not So McKnight. It appears that Brian is alleging that he has won an $8 million judgment against his ex wife, Julia, and he is setting the streets on fire. But let's talk about it, let's dissect it, let's get into it. Shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my nieces and nephews, and all of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie to rise. Sweet old. It's time for auntie to rise. It's time for auntie to rise. So hello everybody. Brian McKnight got the streets hot, honey, because he is taken to Twitter or X, and he is gloating in the fact that he has won an $8 million lawsuit, or allegedly won an $8 million lawsuit by default against his ex-wife Julia. People are saying that he ain't happy unless they unhappy. I don't know what you all are going to decide, whether or not he has a right to gloat about this, whether or not he is a good man. All of that's up to y'all downtown in the comment section. But we're going to go head on and talk about it real quick because I'm curious to see what you think. Maybe like minds do think a lot. So I'm going to show you all a video that Brian McKnight posted the other day. Shall he amass? Posted the other day downtown to the Twitter, and then we're going to discuss it. Okay, so let me bring that on up here, up on the screen for my phone. Okay, let me see if I can get to it real quick for y'all. Let's do it. Let's see.
It's been a long journey getting to this day, October 16th, 2025, but we are here in the English countryside, about an hour and a half outside of London, and the verdict is in. We've been quiet, listening to liars continue to lie and keeping to ourselves, living and loving our life, as we said, leaving everything in God's hands and letting our lawyer do the talking. But according to the courts, trying to ruin my name and trying to bring harm to my family in a book filled with lies equals $8.8 million. And this is just the beginning, because anyone and everyone that helped promote these lies will hear from my lawyer in the days to come. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. That from my voicemail is the voice of a liar.
Do not text Nico again. Do not call Nico again. Leilani, if you are also checking these messages, that goes for you as well. I am very serious about this. I am very serious about this. Do not text him, period. Period. Please understand that. And Brian, you know me. You know me. And you know that I mean what I'm saying to you.
Shall let's talk about it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. In an article at the Atlanta Black Star, the caption reads, "He takes joy in his suffering. Brian McKnight's shady post after beating ex-wife in court sparks major backlash." This was published on October the 19th, 2025. 25 in a year of our Lord. According to this article, it says when most people win a legal victory, they might pop some champagne and call it a day. But according to the Atlanta Black Star, Brian McKnight grabbed a cigar, headed to the English courtside, and turned his courtroom triumph into a full-blown social media spectacle that left fans wondering if winning was ever really about justice at all. Brian McKnight took to his platforms to announce he secured an alleged $8.8 million judgment against his ex-wife Julie McKnight in a defamation case. Standing an hour and a half outside London, the Back at One singer explained his silence up until that point. He went on to say, "We've been quiet, listening to liars continue to lie and keeping to ourselves, living and loving our life, as we said, leaving everything in God's hand and letting our lawyers do the talking." According to McKnight, the court alleged that Julia's allegations of emotional mistreatment and harassment in her book called Mama Bear, Beautifully Blended, released in January of 2025, were false. In it, I believe she wrote a quote, "He publicly disowned his kids." Brian McKnight slammed over tone-deaf posts about his son Nico's death. According to the Atlanta Black Star, and according to the courts, trying to ruin his name and trying to bring harm to his family and a book filled with lies equals $8.8 million. They said that he declared, making it clear that this was only the beginning, and he promised in the video clip that you all just saw that everyone who helped spread what he called lies will soon hear from his legal team. But according to TMZ, McKnight filed a motion for default judgment because his ex didn't show up for court, and he is still waiting for the court to sign off on this win officially. But that technically did not prevent him from celebrating prematurely, according to the Atlanta Black Star. On October 6th, the parties involved in the case were given 21 days to respond, meaning the final outcome remains uncertain as the deadline approaches at the month's end. Now, y'all saw in that video he was filming and jumping, and what's wrong with Brian McKnight? What is wrong? The Shade Room Instagram post of McKnight's video opened the floodgates for fan commentary, and the response was overwhelmingly negative. One of the fans said, "It's like he takes joy in his family's sufferings. And to think I had his music on repeat as a kid," one disappointed follower wrote. Another person cut straight to the financial reality and said, in quotes, "You need it, sir, because we ain't attending any of your concerts." Now, they say that this is a reference to his struggling concert sales that got kicked hard. They said as McKnight has faced multiple cancellations due to former fans boycotting his shows. Somebody else said, "Sir, we don't trust you or the courts." Someone else wrote, "Brian, go to LLEH." People pointed out, right, that the timing of his celebration was just off. And the sad part about it is, as we all know, his son Nico has passed away, and that this all came on the day of his 33rd birthday. or the 33rd birthday he would have been celebrating had we not lost him last year to cancer. I'm sure that people were extremely disheartened, confused, hoodwinked, bamboozled, and wondering what has come to the Brian McKnight who used to sing about love and make our hearts feel like we could love again. It was all right to love. And where is he? I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, where is the Brian McKnight? Hey, sweetie pie. Like, how do you turn into this person? I just want to give some of you all who are coming in a little bit of background, if I can. An article, wait a minute, hold on. I wanted to talk about the relevant women in Brian McKnight's life, his ex-wife and the mother of his children, and his current wife. Julie McKnight was married to Brian McKnight from 1990 to 2023, about 13 years. They share at least two sons together, Brian McKnight and Nico McKnight, who, as I said, recently passed away. After his divorce, there had been significant tensions between Brian McKnight and his older children and his ex-wife, Julie. For example, Brian at one point referred to his older children as a product of sin. And that was reported by Vibe in an article dated April 21, 2024. Brian McKnight's son and ex-wife respond to being a product of sin. Julie has publicly responded to these statements, pushing back against the tone and implying emotional and mental abuse. That can be found by in an article in a news broadcast on WBLS. Brian McKnight's ex-wife and son respond to his comments, and that is dated April 21 of 2024. Julie McKnight also published a book entitled Mama Bear Beautifully Blended, which relates to her experience of blended family and co-parenting. The son, of course, Nico, passed away at age 32 after a battle with cancer, and then the family tensions and estrangement became particularly visible in that content. And the estrangement was reportedly included Brian McKnight not reaching out to Nico even before his passing. Julie has spoken publicly about health issues, for example, colon screening, in the wake of her son's death and a legacy of that loss. Brian McKnight married Leilani Mendoza, now McKnight, on December 29th of 2017. Her background is she is reportedly a pediatric neuropsychologist by profession. Together, the two of them share children, including a son born in January of 2023 named Brian McKnight. Brian even legally changed his name to match his son's name, which reflects a strong public commitment to his family unit. Leilani brings into the family two children from a previous relationship herself. And Brian publicly acknowledges them as his family, while many has said he didn't even acknowledge his own children as his family. I remember a couple of years ago, I was at the Jazz Fest. I go to the Jazz Fest out in Columbia, Maryland, every year. I think this was the first year I didn't go because last year this was like I don't have it to do. I didn't like the lineup, right? But usually I go every year, every year, every year, every year, every year. Don't miss it. And we were leaving for the night, and one of my friends needed to go and pick something up. And it was all the way over on the other side of the Post Pavilion. Now, if y'all have ever been there, y'all know how big that place is. And I was stuck in the middle, knowing I was tired. I didn't feel like walking. And so I sat and I listened to Brian McKnight because I was just tired. And in my opinion, the passion, the sound, everything was just off. Let me look that up and see what year that was. I don't know if that was pre. Hold on. Let me see what year that was. Right, 2019, right before Coco. It was at the Meriwether Post Pavilion, 2019, June 7th through the 9th. And I listened to him and was like, when the fuck he gonna come back with his it was, in my opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion, it was so lackluster. Everything that I thought that I liked about him, I found that I did not like about him anymore. I don't think that there was an awareness from me about all of the things that he was going through. It just was a different sound. It just seemed like a total different person. It was almost as if the mask has slipped for me. And so when my friend came back, happy as a lark, I was like, I'm ready to go. He said, did you enjoy it? I said, no. He said, that's why I left right at that time. So you gonna leave me? So you gonna leave me listening to this? I just think that sometimes when you going through a bunch of stuff in your life, it comes out in your performance, in your personality. Y'all, these are just my opinions. And I didn't enjoy it. And he left me on purpose to go and do what he needed to do because he used this as pastime, thinking she'll just sit here and I didn't enjoy any. I don't even remember tuning in. I don't even remember what he had on. I just know he was there. And I was left in the field, of course, in my lawn chair, thinking, when the is he coming back? For me, these people that I go and see, they have to have some character. And for me, I had heard rumors and different things, right, about him, that just caused me to just have a really bad taste in my mouth and the worst hearing in my ears. I could not wait to get out of there. I could not wait. I was so mad at him. I made him go and bring the car all the way around the Meriwether. I was so mad because I had intentionally said, okay, we gotta go before he get up on stage. I want to say he was the last act of the night. I want to say he was, and I was like, we gotta get out of here before he get up there. It's unfortunate because fans are dragging him left and right. And it just appears that he just has no shame about it. To put something out there like that. I know that couples go through things, right? And some couples walk away from relationships hurting each other because they're hurting, got a whole bunch of stuff going on. But it just really has put a very bad taste in the fans' mouth about who Brian McKnight is. I did not know that he was having problems with selling concerts and stuff. But I know that July of 2019, I wasn't impressed and I didn't want to hear it. So I just want to talk real quick that a default judgment means that the defendant, who in this case is Julie McKnight, did not respond or appear. So Brian McKnight moves for judgment by default. But default judgment is not the same as a fully litigated trial verdict. Many sources know that Brian is declaring victory, but that the court signing of the judgment is still pending. You can get that from TMZ. Okay. Let me give you the article. You can get that from TMZ in an article. Brian McKnight celebrates ex-wife not appearing in court October 17th. So basically, what they're saying is that it is not yet clear from the public records whether the 8.8 million is formally entered or how much of this is punitive versus compensatory, or whether it will stand if challenged. Some media people and outlets are treating the information with caution. So a lot of people are saying, in other words, apparently just one, celebrate. So the full legal details, the court name, the docket number, the motion documents are not, or at least not yet, readily verifiable in any public domain. Because of the estranged family dynamics and the media attention, there may be conflicting narratives about what happened and who said what, when, where, and why. So, just as a precaution, there appears to be a filed default judgment motion by Brian McKnight against Julie McKnight, claiming 8.8 million in damage for alleged defamation connected to her book. However, the judgment is not clearly confirmed, y'all, as fully entered or contested, and many details still remain to be publicly verified. Once that information has been publicly verified, I will come back out and we will discuss it, whether or not he did indeed win an $8.8 million judgment against her. We just have to wait and let this play out in the courts. But y'all let me know what y'all think downtown in the comment section. Like, this is just absolutely ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It's so much going on in the news. And we're going to be talking about all of it. We're going to be talking about all of it. So if you have not already done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure that you turn on your notification. And here's how you know you had your notification bell on. When you hit it, it's going to change a different color. And that way, when I go live, you go live with me. And also, YouTube has a hype button. Right? So there's a button I think you get 3 votes, I think, where you can hype my video and bring it up to the public's attention so that more people will be able to enjoy being with Auntie just like you do. So after you leave this, at the end of this video, please hit that hype button. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.